So in a previous video, I've asked you guys, what is your favorite crafting memory? And here's what you had to say. My favorite crafting memory was at a senior center when I taught a senior how to make an origami box and also an origami heart. And then we put the two together, and then the look on her face was just, she was so ecstatic, and it just meant so much to me because earlier on she had told me that she was too old to learn new things, that she couldn't do it, she's never done anything like this before, she's not crafty. Like, she came up with all of these excuses about how she wasn't going to be able to do this craft, and at the end she did it, and there was this moment, we captured it on camera. It was just such a great, touching moment, and that's why it's my favorite crafting memory.
I made this gingerbread thing at my art class because my art teacher wanted me to make it, and I made it with my friend Mina. And I made it because my art teacher really wanted us to make it and learn how to stitch, and because of an artist who's like, I think 83, but that's why I wanted to make it. It was my favorite because I just like sewing and learning how to sew. It was kind of fun. Gluing on the buttons and putting some clothes on it, but I didn't bring the clothes out. But I also like sewing it. It's cool fabric, and it's also stuff.
Well, hello there. I am Crafty Carol from Cool School. Jenny asked me to share my favorite crafting memory of all time, and that's super hard because I have so many, and all time is like super long. So it's a tie. So it's going back all the way to the very first craft I ever made, or the first craft I can remember making, and that was a dress for my Barbie doll that I made out of a sock. And don't worry, it was clean. So it's super simple. You just cut a hole for Barbie's head and 2 armholes, and then made a little belt and trimmed it up and made it nice and cute. And it was super duper awesome because I made it all by myself. The second favorite crafting memory is the very first video I made for YouTube. I made a paper snowflake. We put it up online and people liked it and commented on it, and it got probably like a bajillion views. Since then I've been like a world famous crafting celebrity, so that's awesome. So, you know, I'll sign autographs after the video's over. But yeah, that's it, my favorite crafting memories. I hope you check out Cool School and more crafting videos with me, Crafty Carol, and see ya. Bye.
One of my favorite crafting memories is when my niece and nephew were little. We were crafting for Christmas and we were making potato bracelets. And my niece was about 3, my nephew was about 6. About 2 weeks prior, we had cut up potatoes into small pieces, put them on skewer sticks, and they were dried out, hard, wrinkly, and perfect. And I had little plates set up with different colors of acrylic paint. And my nephew was painting, and he had a lollipop in one hand and a paintbrush in the other. And he'd paint, and then he'd take, you know, a lick from his lollipop, and then next thing I knew, he was so tired, he was sticking the paintbrush in his mouth. I'm like, okay, you're done. So I quick ran him up to the bath. I was gone maybe a minute. I come back, and my niece, who's 3, has the paintbrush just going like this on the paper plate with all this paint, and somehow in that time span, she had managed to get paint solid up to her elbows. So I had to piggyback her up to get a bath, and needless to say, it took a while to get that bathtub clean.
My favorite crafting memory. I guess I really enjoy making slime. Slime is just so much fun, and the creative aspect of it, it's amazing. You can do any colors, put anything in it, and of course you can add as much glitter as you want. Who doesn't love glitter? But I think my most favorite slime video had to have been the one that I did with my daughter, because she's 2 and adorable, and just all the little cute comments she was making about how gross it was just so much fun. So that's my favorite crafting memory, is making the witch's brew slime.
This is my favorite craft that I've done. So this is a Crash Course World History timeline. And the reason why this is my favorite craft is because it incorporates all these things that I love. So I love YouTube, and I love education on YouTube, and I especially love Crash Course. And putting together this thing with history on Crash Course and all these historic events that I really love, and I really love learning about that stuff, it's all put on my timeline back there. And it's really cool how everything blends together. And once it's all up on a timeline, you can start to see stuff happening. As well as I get to be creative because I draw everything that's on my timeline. And I put artist stamps on the timeline for where the Doctor has been in Earth history. and it's just super duper cool to have everything there. Like eventually I'll have all the Crash Course World History up there, and maybe I'll even start adding different things to that kind of tie into what's going on in my life at the time.
I used to love crafting as a child, and I have lots and lots of very happy memories of crafting as a child. One of them is crafting with nature items. We used to go out and we used to collect pine cones and acorns and chestnuts, and we used to make little people out of them. I used to love that as a child. And then the other big memory for me is crafting with a lady called Celia, who was our adoptive granny, or we called her adoptive granny, and she taught me how to sew and how to knit, and she really encouraged my creativity. And I still have one of the projects I made with her, which is this dolly. When I was about 13 or 14, she helped me sew this doll, and I did actually do most of the sewing. She was more or less just sort of the adult sitting in the room helping me here and there, and it's still something that I have now, and it's really precious, and I have lots of happy memories of getting creative with Celia.
This was a craft which I made with my mom. This was memorable because it was the first doll which I made, and it was the first craft in which my mother helped. So here's the doll. It has a beaded headband and a beaded bracelet. It is wearing a red dress. This dress is known as sari in Indian culture. This doll is having a sitar, this music instrument. I have painted this myself, and it also has a lace finishing.
I wanted to share with you one of my fondest crafting memories. In fact, it's this little pair of shoes right here. What they are is they are a custom pair of Tom's shoes painted to look like R2-D2. The reason they're so special to me is they are actually the very first pair of shoes I ever painted. They were a gift from my girlfriend for Christmas a few years back, and I had no idea what it would turn into. It ended up snowballing into me taking a year off of work and painting full time, starting a YouTube channel where I paint on occasion and do other Disney and Star Wars and all kinds of crazy related stuff. And I would have never in a million years guessed that that would have happened based on this one pair of shoes.
So my favorite crafting memory was when I learned how to crochet with my grandma, and I made this turtle here. The reason it was memorable was because I got to spend quality time with my grandma, and it was really fun.
Today I thought I'd share with you one of my earliest sewing creations. It's all been completed by machine, apart from the initial here, which is hand stitched. There's a couple of pockets on the front. We've got the double divider in here. We have machine sewn binding around the edge. And I'm just really proud of this. I was 7 when I made this, and Mum found this for me recently when they were cleaning out their attic. I'm just really pleased that she kept it, because there's so many skills in this. Sewing's a tradition in our family. We've been doing it forever, and I'm very pleased to say that my 93-year-old grandmother is now teaching my 8-year-old daughter how to knit.
My favorite crafting memory has to be making Christmas ornaments. Every Christmas, I would help my mother make these sequin and beaded ornaments for our Christmas tree. The ornaments were white styrofoam balls, and we would take the sequins or the beads and place a little metal pin in each one of them and place it on the ball by hand. I mean, it would take hundreds of sequins or little beads to finish one ball. So this moment was most memorable for me because it was like mother-daughter bonding time. Even though it took a really long time to complete these balls, they were so beautiful, and to know that we created it together meant so much to me.
My crafting memory, which I made with my sister.
Hi!
I craft using this box. I'm doing mini gallery inside of this. Here's all the picture I put in. So to put it out, just pull this rope and it will come up like that.
My most memorable moment for crafts is in high school when I was part of a Christian group, and for Valentine's Day we decided to fold Valentine's Day roses for each female in the school. A number of us gathered, and then on a Saturday we just folded for a good 10 to 13 hours, and then that totaled up to about 570 roses. And then we had another friend who folded an additional 100 paper hearts. And then so we would include a message with the rose, basically telling the females that they're loved and that they have purpose, their life has purpose, it's not meaningless. That was like one of the biggest scale crafts thing that I've ever been part of. So that's my most memorable crafts moment.
Hi, my name is Karen, and one of the biggest memories that I have is this little jewelry box that I made. And it's special because my mom helped me collect each individual card. And then my 5th grade teacher showed us how to sew all of these cards together in order to get this result. And as you can see, now I store pins and a lot of small stuff in there. So I made it with my own hands. That's why it's so special.
My all-time favorite crafting memories is definitely when I made my DIY crayon lipstick video with one of my best friends from childhood. It was so much fun. Even though making the crayon lipstick was somewhat difficult, we made the best out of it, tried all the colors on. It was such a blast to film and to create.
A couple of years ago, my aunt instituted a new family tradition that was short-lived but pretty awesome, and it was Christmas craft day. So she got all of us cousins and some of the aunts and uncles together, and we all got together and did a lot of faux art projects. We made things like this, and it has survived. Most of the projects we made did not even survive to go back into the box of ornaments. They're all pretty derpy, but the fun and awesome thing about it was just being together, fighting over scissors and glue and different supplies, and making weird and wacky little projects.
One of my favorite crafting memories has to be one year on the Crafty Chica cruise when this lady signed up to come on the cruise. She had never crafted before. She was from Ireland. Why did she take Latino arts and crafts? I have no idea, but she was there, and I taught her how to make a love shrine inside of a cigar box, like themed after the Mexican novella comic books. She loved it, and she did such a beautiful job. And by the end of the cruise, not only was she an expert with glitter and glue and paint and composition and all of that, but she knew that she had unlocked something in herself to go home and start a whole new journey of her creative life. And I love that. It made my whole year seeing that lady just get turned on to crafting. I felt like my purpose in life is done.
What is your favorite crafting memory?
When I did the Miranda Sings edition and the City edition.
Who was it with?
You!
What did you make?
I made almost all of them.
Why was it memorable?
Because I was looking for a hobby for months and I found something that I really like. And now I'm going to show a photo of it. Miranda lips. The lipstick. The hater is back off pants. The crown. And the microphone.